guys, it's Will here, and tonight I'm joined by Sam.
Yeah, guys.
And we're reviewing this, the new Space Marine Codex for 8th edition. Now, I know we're not exactly first to the punch on this. Some people have had this a week or more already.
That's because they had it a week before it came out.
Yes, we've got it on the release date, and we'll be reviewing it on the release date. So, yeah, we haven't had too much chance to read through this yet, so you're kind of going to be going through it with us. Now, this book is massive.
It's a chunky bastard.
It's the thickest codex I think they've ever made.
It's a nice codex as well. It's like nice and solid, good print, just good general quality. So
the sort of thing you'd expect from GW.
Yeah.
And the first big chunk of it there, so we're up to page 130. That's just fluff up to that point.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Jeez, fluff and pretty pictures.
But they are pretty pictures, and I'm sure it's really good fluff that's well worth a read, but we haven't got time to go through all of that tonight. What we're going to look at is the rules, and specifically the new units and anything that's changed, and like all the new stuff that they've put in here, because Space Marines have 80 plus units already, and you know, a lot of it...
It's way too much to go through in one go.
Exactly, it will burn out the battery on my camera, take you all week to watch, and yeah, we're going to focus on the new exciting stuff, because that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
So, it's just going through here. You've got all your special characters.
It doesn't look like we've got any like new special characters. Like there's no new named characters. We do have a few new HQ options.
Yeah, and that's mostly to do with all the Primaris stuff. So, first sort of thing that's interesting here is this Primaris captain. Now he is
a bit of a beast.
He's alright, he's 6 wounds, 5 attacks, he's a captain augmented as you would expect for a Primaris.
Yeah, 2 plus, toughness 4, strength 4, 3 up save.
One thing that is a little bit disappointing with him though is the lack of available options. Literally, he doesn't have an options of like the war gear list, he just gets to pick what the model comes with.
Yeah.
So that is a power sword, and then either a bolt rifle or a stalker bolter.
Yeah, I mean he gets an Iron Halo standard as well, and now no stupid Space Marine rule is still a thing.
And I shall know no fear.
Oh dear. And rights of battle, so units can reroll 1s within 6s.
Yeah, so pretty much the same as
hit rolls of 1. Yeah.
So you've got to trade off between him and a captain that he's got an extra wound, he's got an extra attack. He's Primaris, which makes him cool.
One thing I have noticed with this codex is, like the indexes, they've got all the points at the back.
Yeah.
I personally didn't like that from the indexes.
No.
It might be a bit more easier to do with the rules as they are in one codex, but
yeah,
there's also no quick sheet.
Yeah, if you take a quick look here, this is how they're presented, and yeah, they've gone for the same style as Age of Sigmar and as the indexes, where everything is on the page, all the rules, but then all the points are in a list in the back, which yeah, just means you're flicking back and forward all the time unless you're really familiar with your army.
We've also no like cheat sheets. Like in 7, we had a list of our stat line going down. I don't think we have that anymore.
No, I don't think we do. Although, you know, very rarely did you end up actually referring to that once you knew your army well. But,
yeah, there is that.
It would have been nice.
It just means there's going to be a lot of flicking until we're 100% with the book.
Yeah, which is probably my biggest beef with 8th edition at the moment, is I'm just flicking all the time.
Yeah, it's not a big beef. It's
No.
It's just more inconvenient.
Yeah.
We like our convenience, damn it.
And then...
Oh, you're breaking the camera. No, it's safe. We're good.
Yeah, don't destroy the camera. It's all good.
Yeah, mind the wire.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got... Captain in Gravis armour is the same as out of the box. And again, he doesn't come with any options. Librarian, Primaris Librarian.
Primaris Librarian's interesting. Isn't that new? Or
well, he's been out a couple of weeks, and they released rules in the box set and points on their website. So it was the first time he's been in book format, though.
Can manifest 2 and deny 1. Nice. I wonder if we got a new psychic list.
Same as we have got a new psychic list.
Nice.
So he's basically the same as a librarian, same psychic hood. Basically the same weapon, slightly less options again. He can only have the Force Sword, whereas the generic one can have the axe and the staff as well.
Yeah. I mean, the sword's pretty good. -3 D3 damage.
Yeah,
So,
just would have been nice to have the option.
you know,
I like the axe.
and he's one more wound.
One more wound, one more attack. It's what they've done with all the Primaris characters. Is if you're Primaris, you get +1 wound, +1 attack. Then if you get Gravis armor, you get +1 toughness as well.
Sweet.
Librarian in Terminator armor, Terminator Chaplain. The new Primaris Chaplain, he is brand new, out today. And again, they've done the same thing. +1 wound, +1 attack.
Still has his units can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight surface.
Yep.
Rather than 6 inches model. So that's got better. It was on its only charged, wasn't it?
In the previous edition.
Ah, fair enough.
So that is nice because you if you get charged, you still get the benefit of it.
And you can use his leadership while having 6 of him, which is nice.
Absolutely.
And the 4-up invuln just to top it off.
Yep, all the things you'd expect. He has got a new weapon actually, the Absolver Bolt Pistol. This is something that he shares with the new Apothecary. It's essentially a Strength 5 -1 AP bolt pistol with 16-inch range, so that's decent enough.
That's pretty good, yeah.
So 16-inch pistol 1, Strength 5 -1.
And what's the new stick we saw that model with? Is that still just a Crozius Arcanum?
It's still just a Crozius Arcanum, which is a +1 Strength, -1 AP, 2 damage melee weapon.
He just broke the top off it.
He's just
hitting you with the handle now.
Yeah, it looked like it was some sort of majorette baton or something, but it's just a different Crozius Arcanum. Tech Marine. Now here's a new one. They haven't actually got a model for this yet, which is a Lieutenant. So in the starter box you've got the Primaris Lieutenants, and they're obviously still in here, but they do just a normal Lieutenant now.
Yeah, so is that like a Mark 8 type armour?
No, he's just going to be a standard power armoured dude.
Yeah.
Essentially it's a slightly lower rank than a captain.
Fair enough. What does he give us? He's still a 2+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 4 with 4 wounds.
Yeah.
3 attacks, leadership 8, save 3+. So pretty standard character.
Yeah, so essentially the Primaris Lieutenant, -1 wound and attack because he's not Primaris. Weapons, he does get to pick from the list, so he's going to be more customisable.
He can have a jump pack by the looks of it.
Yep, so he's got all the flexibility of a captain, but in a lieutenant. And the main thing with the lieutenants is the tactical precision.
Yeah,
so
rerolling ones to wound
within 6 inches of him.
With the captain, is it just a hit for the captain?
Yeah, the captain does to hit, the lieutenant does to wound.
So if you combo them up nicely, you'll get lots of your ones.
Yes, lots and lots of rerolling ones, which is good.
Which always
for
good.
Marines.
I say with a Primaris Lieutenant, it's just the extra wound, isn't it? And the extra attack.
Yeah. Other than that, exactly the same and less customisation.
So tactical squads are still here.
Yeah.
Interceptor squads.
Intercessors, not
Intercessors.
Intercessors.
I don't like the new names.
See, I don't mind them because I can pronounce them, but so many people are getting these guys and the Inceptors muddled up by calling them both Interceptors. I'm hearing the word Interceptors so many times on the internet right now. It's not a thing. Well,
New dudes.
It's a Grey Knight unit, but yeah.
Are these the flying ones or the standard ones?
These are the tactical Primaris, basically.
Tactical Primaris. Well, that's what we're calling them now.
And so they've changed. They've only been out a month and they've changed already.
Yeah.
They can now be taken in any squad size from 5 to 10.
That is nice. I mean, having the squad sizes on the Primaris Marines is kind of what we needed. And they're a troop choice.
Yep,
they were before.
Choice. And they got some new weapon options.
So they're still just normal Space Marine, 3+3+, strength 4, toughness 4, with 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, save 3+.
Yeah.
I don't know if their points have changed. We'll have to figure that out at the end.
I don't think they'll have changed the points, but the weapon options may cost different amounts.
Maybe. Let's have a look.
So, in fact, let's do that, because you've now got 3 different weapons you can give them. The first one is the standard bolt rifle. Hang on, looking here. Base points cost to stay the same. Weapons, where's the weapons?
Go on the end here.
Bolt rifle is free. Auto bolt rifle is 1 point, so that makes them cost a point more. And stalker bolt rifle is 2 points.
Fair enough.
So,
those 2 extra bolt rifles are nice though. So the normal bolt rifle, what you're looking at, just a strength 4,
It's just a bolter with 30-inch range AP1.
Which is really good. Like, AP is amazing in this game with access to it. Like, I've been playing Necrons a bit, and
yeah, they've been nasty to play against. With
with AP mass across your army, it's actually really quite nice. So having an AP on your basic infantry is really good.
Yeah. The next one, the auto bolt rifle, which is going to cost them a point more.
Which should make them what?
21 points a model.
That's
not that unreasonable when you consider Eldar Dire Avengers are 17.
Yeah, I guess that. And you got 2 wounds, toughness 4.
Exactly, and 2 attacks in combat if you get there. So the auto bolt rifle is range 24, assault 2. Other than that, it's strength 4, no AP, 1 damage.
So losing the AP sucks, but you're doubling your firepower, which is kind of nice because
you're doubling your firepower at 24 inches.
Yeah, I mean it's nice because I found bigger units work really well in 8th. So being able to take out larger numbers is always nice.
Absolutely, and you've got more manoeuvrability because it's assault. You can run and still shoot. So I think these are the guys you want if you're looking to get forward and get up into combat, which is an option with these guys. 3+ to hit, strength 4, 2 attacks.
Can they have a combat weapon?
They can't, no.
Looks like leader can have a power sword.
Yes, that I did not notice that, yeah. Intercessor Sergeant may take a power sword.
And considering how cheap power swords are, they're like 4 points average
4
now.
Points on average, yeah.
So it's not bad. 1 damage minus 3 AP. You know, it's something extra.
Give him a bit of extra punch, and he's a guy with 3 attacks anyway, which is what a captain used to have in the last edition.
Yeah, so that's definitely a good punch. And the Stalker Bolt rifle is the only one we haven't covered.
Yep, so that is a 36-inch range, heavy one, with strength 4 and minus 2 AP.
See, strength 4's a bit meh, but minus 2 AP. Can you give these guys heavy weapons?
No, you can't. This Stalker Bolter is kind of them trying to act a bit like a sniper squad, and I'm not sure that you guys with an extra wound or an extra attack aren't the guys you want sitting back.
Well, I'm pretty sure they've given Space Marines the objective secured. So
all the troops, which might be one advantage. But if you want guys that are going to be sitting back, firing, long range, effectively sniper shots that are also troops,
you're going to take Havocs. Or scouts.
Or Devastators if you don't want to be troops.
Yeah, I mean, scouts. I don't know. That would be an arguable choice. Scouts or them. Scouts would be cheaper, but they're squishier.
They got camo cloaks though.
Yeah, but at the same time, new Primaris.
Yeah.
Or just take a decent, big, heavy unit.
Yeah, because OBSEC is nice. It's not called OBSEC, but it is OBSEC that all the troops are getting, and they, that would be handy. But at the same time, if you're going to guys that cost that much and are sitting back, you could just go for Devastators. Yeah,
with the Primaris, they've got a lot of versatility and they're better than your average troop. You want to be using every part of them, so you've got 2 taxing close combat, so it's worth putting them into a small combat.
Absolutely. Scouts have stayed the same, I think. Crusaders, Primaris, Ancient.
It's nice that they put the Black Templars really in here now. I wonder if they explain how the multi-armor save characteristic sort of works, because I've not come across it yet.
It's not listed here. It may be listed somewhere else, but I'm not sure.
I guess you have to declare what model you're taking the save on first.
I think so, but...
Well, as soon as you get to pick where your wounds are allocated, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, I think people will... I think the simpler 8th Ed system for wound allocation will probably make that make sense anyway.
Primaris Ancient?
Yeah, he's in the starter box.
What does he actually do?
So he's basically a banner bearer, and every time... you get +1 leadership, and each time an infantry model is destroyed within 6 inches, roll a dice, and on a 4+, they get to make either a shooting or melee attack before they're removed.
Unit, is that?
No, model.
So, semi-strength from death.
Yeah, kind of, but you still die and just get a shot off before you die.
I guess.
It could be useful. And
you've got to have a flag at some point. How do you claim a planet without a flag?
Exactly, and it's a nice looking flag as well.
This is my flag. Well, you can't claim our planet. Do you have a flag? No. Well, we have a flag. We win.
Hey! And yeah, he's pretty cool. I think certainly if you've got a lot of units around him, particularly Primaris stuff, which tends to be a bit harder hitting model by model.
And then you've got the Chapter Ancient, which I assume is just
the same dude, but not Primaris.
Yeah. So you have a normal dude with a normal flag.
Yeah.
My flag's better than your flag.
Anyway, new model here, Primaris Apothecary. And
yes.
Guess what? He does exactly the same thing as a normal Apothecary, except he's got an extra wound. And you never guess what? He's got an extra attack as well.
Surprising. He can also have the Absolve bolt pistol.
Yeah, which is nice. And the Reductor pistol, which is a 3-inch range pistol, but it gives him AP 3 for 2 damage.
Jeez, Strength 4, AP minus 3, 2 damage. That's hilarious.
Well, it's what he uses to remove the Gene Seed from Marines, and so it's got to punch through power armor, but it only needs to be short range, so it makes perfect sense. And this is a guy I definitely want a Primaris Apothecary. I've always been a fan of Space Marine Apothecaries. I play one in Deathwatch, and yeah, I kind of identify with them more than any other model because I'm kind of healthcare myself.
Yeah, and he gives up the Feel No Pain equivalent.
It's not Feel No Pain equivalent, it's healing wounds and potentially resurrecting a dude.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he does what a normal apothecary does. Right, now we're into the juicy stuff, the new Elite Primaris units. These are completely new. Some of them have possibly had box set rules, but this is the first time we're reviewing them. What's up first?
Reaver squads.
Woo! So these are the guys with the stripped down power armor. Not that they lose any save for that. There's still a 3-up save. And
they don't seem to have any reduction in that. Do they have like a movement bonus then?
Not like that, but they have some cool ways to move.
Okay.
So they're the same stats as an intercessor, so Space Marine stats with the additional wound and attack. And you can have 5 to 10 of them, and they come stock with a bolt carbine, a heavy bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades, and shock grenades.
The bolt carbine looks really good.
Yeah, so the bolt carbine is going to be the same as the assault bolt rifle.
Yeah, so assault 2, strength 4, AP nothing, damage 1. That's quite good to have on a squad, just drop them in, because I think they've got a deep strike version, haven't they?
They have a deep strike ability, yeah. So that's quite cool, and
the heavy bolt pistol looks actually savage.
It's
for a pistol.
Yeah, it's a bolt pistol with -1 AP, which is solid on a whole squad.
Yeah, say minus AP is amazing.
Especially as being a pistol, you can fire it in combat now.
Yeah, so that's really good. And then shock grenades.
Shock grenades. So these are
shocking.
Hey, puns. What else did you expect? So shock grenades don't do any damage. They're grenade D3 shots, and the weapon doesn't inflict damage. But any infantry unit hit by a shock grenade is stunned until the end of the turn. They cannot fire Overwatch, and your opponent must subtract from any hit.
Subtract 1 from any hit rolls.
So -1 to hit and can't fire Overwatch.
That's really good. That's like really, really powerful.
Yeah. Particularly, if you're charging into combat with these guys, shock grenade something, or even if someone else is charging into combat and these guys are nearby. It's grenade D3, so chances are you're going to hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, -1 AP and -1 to hit and no Overwatch.
Sorry, shifting, trying to get comfortable.
Sorry, these chairs here aren't the most comfortable. But hey, we have a free place to do this stuff, so we can't whinge.
So
they've got a few weapon options though. They can switch out their carbine for a knife, which is like the alternative build. And so this gives them +1 attack at the expense of the range of the carbine.
I wouldn't be too upset with that, considering you've got the heavy bolt pistol. You're going to be dropping 9 inches away from your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's not too bad.
Certainly a viable build. And then they have several different ways to deploy. They can either take grav shoots, and they can also take grapnel launchers. Now, there's nothing to say you can't take the two together. But when you see how they work, you realise you probably don't want to take both. You want to take one or the other. So the grav shoots are probably the easier one. They're standard deep strike like a lot of other units get.
Yeah, just drop more than 9 inches away. Can't move further that turn.
Yep.
Blah.
Grapnel launchers.
So,
That's
yeah, this is the big one.
So, model armed with grapnel launchers don't count any vertical distance they move against the total distance moved. In addition, during deployment they can set up behind enemy lines. At the end of any movement phase they can join the battle, set them up within 6 inches of the edge and not more than 9 from an enemy unit.
Not more?
Sorry, more than 9 from the... not within 9.
Yeah, so coming on a board edge or just deep strike.
Yeah, so the grav shoot gives you a little bit more flexibility in your deployment because you can come down anywhere that's not within 9, whereas the grapnel launcher you have to not only not be within 9, but you also have to be within 6 of a board edge.
Which makes it difficult, but what's the bonus for it?
You can move vertically for free. I guess
Meh.
it depends what your kind of local scene is like for vertical terrain.
Yeah, I guess.
Also, I wonder what the cost difference is, because I wouldn't be surprised if the grapnels were slightly cheaper. Just having a look now. No, they're the same cost.
I would still prefer the deep strike anywhere over the board edge flanking.
As cool as the grapnel launchers look,
I mean, these guys look like they're designed to be in combat, with the combat knife giving them an additional attack.
yeah, so they're going in at 3 attacks. They're kind of,
Heavy bolt pistol that you can still fire in combat. They look decent.
and then there's one last rule that I think you'll like. Enemy units must subtract 1 from their leadership if they're within 3 of any Reavers.
Which is nice in some regards. I haven't found leadership to be too detrimental. There's ways round it.
There are ways around it, but you play Genestealer Cult, so you have one of those ways.
And the stratagem, obviously.
And
But
stratagems, but it's certainly an interesting bonus that favours them getting forward and into combat.
yeah. Well, I say that actually gives you a combat option with Marines. Marines are normally, you only had hard-hitting combat Death Star type units.
Yeah, this gives you a more
A more versatile army.
Yeah, it's certainly another option, and I mean, you even don't have to get into combat to use the terror tactics, because if you're just within 3 inches of a unit that you've shot with something else in your army, you could make more guys run away.
But then your opponent can just remove the model that's within 3 inches. So,
True that.
moving on. So that's elites, the Reavers.
Yeah, and these are more elites, the aggressors.
Aggressors.
I like the look of these boys.
Yeah, these guys look like Primaris Terminators to me, but they're not actually too up save.
No, they wear the Gravis armour, which is the same as the starter box captain,
I do like the Gravis armour.
and that gives you +1 toughness rather than +1 save,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty cool. I mean, you can get +1 save by standing next to a tree, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you lose a point of movement, you go down to 5 for wearing it, rather than 6.
Yeah.
Which isn't a noticeable difference, to be honest.
No, not really, particularly when you consider their relentless advance special rule.
Which means they
Do not suffer to hit roll penalties when advancing firing assault weapons. And then look at all their weapons.
Yeah, all their weapons are assault. Don't some of their weapons automatically hit though? Yes, they do.
Yes, some of their weapons are flamers, so yeah.
I know you're going to be kitting these out with flamers for your salamanders.
Certainly for my salamanders, but for my Scythes of the Emperor I'll have to have a look and see what's optimal.
Yeah.
Actually, I think flamers will probably work for the Scythes of the Emperor as well, because Ultramarine Chapter Tactics, which we will get to later.
Yeah, the bolters is pretty good still as well.
Yeah, so...
so stats wise, okay, yeah, you lose a point of movement. You're still weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, which is nice. Still strength 4, but your toughness 5, which is actually what I found is really good. It's just enough to be annoying. 2 wounds?
2 wounds,
Only
yeah.
2?
Yeah.
I was expecting these guys to have 1 more, to be honest. Because they're slightly bulkier than your average Marine. I was expecting 1 more.
But I mean, the idea is that the bulkiness is
It's
the
the
armour,
toughness,
not
yeah.
the dude, which is why it's in the toughness.
So you're still leadership 7, save 3+, and you can have them in squads of 1.
One sergeant
up to 3.
and 2 dudes, so it's
Yeah.
3 dudes. Is it really? And can include up to an additional 3, so you can go up to 6 dudes.
Which would be pretty terrifying if you kitted them out of all of these flamers. So, going down their guns, they've got the auto bolt gun.
So
gauntlet.
their starter is an auto bolt storm gauntlet, which is essentially like a mini gauntlet of Ultramar, and then frag storm grenade launchers, which are those rocket packs on the back if you've seen the models.
Yeah.
And then they can replace both of those with a Flamestorm gauntlet. So you have to replace both the shoulder-mounted rockets and the bolt guns to get the flamers.
Let's have a look at the bolt gun and the rockets. So bolt gun is 18-inch. Do they have 2 of these?
Yes, these are auto bolt storm gauntlets. So I'm guessing that is a pair. So yeah, the Assault 6 represents the pair.
Yeah, so you're not getting 12 shots per model.
No, that would be mental.
Yeah, it's pretty mental anyway with having 6 shots. So 18-inch range, Assault 6, we're being able to run and shoot normally, that's fine. Strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. It's a bit meh considering the bolt rifles are so good.
Yeah, it's just a lot of bolt rounds.
Yeah. And
the Frag Storm grenade launcher is Assault D6, and other than that, the profile is the same.
Yeah, 18-inch range, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. So you're getting 6 plus D6 shots per dude.
Which is on average
9 or 10
shots per dude. So if we be ungenerous, you're getting 29, 28 shots out of these guys.
Yeah. Which is a lot of bullets, but I think there's better, more effective ways, more powerful ways to bring bolt rounds.
Potentially, although they are very resilient. The toughness 5 makes a big difference.
So you can swap them for the flamer version.
Yep, so that's the Flamestorm Gauntlet, which is Assault 2d6, Strength 4, hits automatically, but it's only 8-inch range, so it's essentially 2 flamers.
Yeah, these guys don't seem to have a lot of punch.
Ah, they do though. Look at the weapon in melee.
So both the auto gauntlet and the flame gauntlet have the same melee profile, and it's basically a power fist.
Yeah. So these guys certainly do have punch because they're all packing power fists.
Yeah. I mean, they don't shoot too well. I mean, in fact, all their guns are strength 4, AP nothing, 1 damage.
But it's about weight. I mean, you've been saying for a few weeks how having lots of guys makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So, you know, if people are bringing hordes of termagants, alt boys, guardsmen, gene stealers,
you can grind through them.
These guys give you that firepower in a relatively compact package.
Yeah.
Especially if you're re-rolling the ones to hit and the ones to wound, start stacking lieutenants and sergeants in there.
Oh, very nice. So, you've got a few special rules, so whether you want the Flamestorm or not. You've got Combat Squad, which is, if you've got 6 in the unit, you can halve the unit to 2 units of 3, which is nice. You can reduce your deployment drops.
Yeah.
Firestorm, so if you remain stationary, you can fire twice.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So for these guys equipped with the bolt weapons, because they got longer range, you'd probably get more use out of this than the flame weapons.
Yeah, then you would be getting your 12 shots per guy. Which would be
shots per guy plus 2d6.
Yeah, which would be pretty insane. And then you got the Relentless Advance, so you can advance and fire normally. So the last one I would use with the flamers, so it doesn't really matter because of the auto hit, the 2d6 flamers.
Yeah.
So how many points are these guys?
Let's have a look.
God, I hurt.
He's ridden his motorbike back from Wales today.
It's only a 7-hour ride, just aching.
Well, if it took too long, you should have gone faster. Right, elites. Aggressors. 25 points per model, base, but that's without weapons. Boltstorm Gauntlet is 25.
Makes you 50 points.
And then the Fragstorm Grenade Launcher, is that?
Fragstorm Gauntlet.
No, it's not a gauntlet.
Yeah, it is.
It's on the shoulders.
Oh no.
Fragstorm Grenade Launcher is 4 points. So they're going to be 54 points a model. So you're looking at, for 3 dudes,
62.
62 points. So that isn't terrible considering the amount of shots they're putting out.
What about the Flamer variant?
The Flamer variant,
I believe I saw them at 18 points, those Flamers.
Flamestorm bought at 18, so that's
The cheaper
the
option.
cheaper option. You're coming in at under 50 points a model then.
But without a dedicated transport or something to get you in position, because you've got no deep strike option other than drop pod.
Dedicated transport, you say?
We'll get to that, yes.
We'll get to the Repulsor.
But yes,
I like the Repulsor.
so you're going to want a transport for these guys if you're running the Flamer variant, either drop pod or Repulsor. More likely Repulsor.
Although if you're running a more defensive list, particularly against an opponent who tends to play aggressively, the non-Flamer variant would be more than happy to sit back and get those double shots.
I think you want these guys in combat to get the most out of them, because you've got power fists, which are decent, and if you're sitting back just shooting with them, you're losing half your viability.
Although I think if you've got the power fists, you want a captain hanging around to get at least the reroll ones to hit, because power fists missing sucks in this edition.
So moving on from the Aggressors, Terminator squads, Terminator assault squads,
Terminators, Vanguard, Stone Guard, Dreadnought. Ooh, Dreadnought! Redemptor Dreadnought.
Nah, I don't like this model. I think it looks silly. Personal opinion, but yes.
But I'm not so bothered by it, but let's see what it can do on the table.
Yeah, so it's got degrading stats.
Yep, so starting off its movement is 8, it goes down to 6 or 4 as it takes wounds, and weapon skill and ballistic skill start off at 3+ and degrade.
To 4/5. Strength 7, toughness 7, so it's not much tough. It's slightly stronger than your average Dreadnought, not much tougher. 13 wounds, so it's got the same as a Contemptor, I think.
No, Contemptor only has 10 wounds. This has as many wounds as a Wave Serpent.
That's because Wave Serpents are Eldar cheese.
We're not talking about Eldar.
Elves can die in a hole.
4 attacks, leadership 8, and a 3+ save. Although when you use the leadership on a Dreadnought, I do not know.
It'll be when I attack your leadership value.
Oh, fair enough. So then, this thing comes as standard with a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, a heavy flamer, an Icarus rocket pod, 2 Fragstorm grenade launchers, and a Redemptor fist.
Just a bit then.
It's got a lot of guns.
Yeah, that is a lot of guns.
And it can replace the heavy flamer with an onslaught Gatling cannon, so you can have the heavy onslaught and the standard onslaught Gatling cannon if you want to roll all the dice.
Yeah, all the dice.
You can replace the onslaught Gatling cannon with a macro plasma incinerator.
That sounds overkill.
It's a heavy D6, strength 8 plasma cannon basically.
Strength 8, -4, 1 damage.
Yeah.
You can overcharge it to strength 9, -4, 2 damage, but on a 1
Suffers a
hit,
mortal wound.
take a mortal wound. That's better than dying, I guess.
Yeah, and when you got 13 wounds and certain tech marines possibly hanging around to fix that, or a dude to give you reroll 1s nearby, that's certainly a risk I'd be willing to take.
What are these Gatling cannons like?
So the standard onslaught Gatling cannon is essentially an assault cannon with -1 strength, and the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon gains some range. It goes up to 30-inch range, heavy 12 for strength 5, AP 1.
But that's a heavy weapon. I'm not seeing a rule that says this guy can move and shoot heavy.
No, I'm not either. I don't think he has one. But, so both the heavy plasma and the onslaught Gatling are heavy. It's got a lot of heavy weapons. It's got the Fragstorm grenade launchers, which are the same weapon as on the backs of the Aggressors. Redemptor Fist is just a Dreadnought close combat weapon by the looks of it.
D6 damage. Strength times 2, -3, D6 damage. So I'll make him strength 14.
Oh, and strength isn't capped, is it?
No.
That means he can double out most tanks in combat.
Which is nice. And D6 damage is pretty strong, as everyone's seen from las cannons.
Absolutely, especially when you're packing that with 4 attacks. Yeah, so this guy's got... the Icarus rocket pod's quite cool. It's a heavy D3, strength 7, -1 AP, and that is +1 to hit against flyers and -1 against everything else.
but it's heavy again, so if you move, you'll be hitting on 5s, that's unwounded.
Against ground-based targets.
Yeah.
4s against flyers.
So...
And 3s against flyers if you move.
Is he elite as well?
He is, yeah.
So the Primaris went heavily into elites. Now you can see why the battalion has the option to take 6.
Well, I think generally that's... A lot of armies have a lot more elite choices now, because some guys that used to be in command squads, like the Apothecary, is now a separate elite choice.
Yeah. So...
What do you reckon, though? It looks like
he hits hard and he's resilient. So... I just think the model's weird.
I think he needs to be supported correctly. He's certainly resilient. To get the most out of him, you either need to go full aggression, so take assault weapons where possible, flamers, and run him into combat, or you kind of go defensive, take lots of long-range, high AP, heavy weapons, and then use him to countercharge if your opponent gets too close to your gun line.
Can you put him in a drop pod?
No Dreadnought can go in a drop pod anymore.
Boo!
Apart from the Forge World Dreadnought drop pods.
Why can't you put normal Dreadnoughts in a drop pod?
Okay, get me a drop pod model. Don't actually do this, but look at the drop pod model, look at the centre of it, and tell me where the Dreadnought's meant to stand.
Well, you get the drop pod variant, don't you?
The Forge World drop pod, which is a separate rules.
Oh, that sucks. Mike has a whole Blood Angels army, which is Dreadnoughts and drop pods.
Oh, he's not going to be happy when he reads this edition's rules.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, anyone who's spent money on drop pods is kind of feeling a bit meh right now, I think. But they may have changed. We will take a look.
Assault Centurions seem to be the same. We need to look at the points for that guy.
Oh, we do. I heard about 202 points fully kitted out. So let's see, 140 base, and then we want to go. If we go for his cheap cost, so that is the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, is 36, so that brings him up to 176. Then we'll the standard onslaught Gatling cannon, 16, plus all the other bits and bobs, the Icarus,
192.
The Icarus launcher, Icarus rocket pod's only 6 points.
That's so 198.
What else does he have?
The fist?
The frag storms and the fist. I reckon the fist will be free because it's unique to him.
The frag storms are here.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the fist. Redemptor fist is free.
Yep.
And then the Fragstorm rockets are... Fragstorm grenades are 4 points.
So 202 points, I reckon.
202 points for the lots and lots of bullets build.
That's not bad. That isn't bad.
Not bad at all. Especially for something so resilient with the combat punch as well. Assault squads, bike squads, land speeders, attack bikes, blah blah blah.
Inceptors?
Inceptors. Think like Inception. Inceptors.
They're going to invade my dreams.
They already
Not
do.
my dreams!
Trust me, mate, nobody wants to invade your dreams.
Maybe.
So, as before, 3 guys minimum, but again, they've gained the flexibility to have an additional 3 guys if they want.
These are the flyer ones that no one likes the jump pack connection on.
Yes.
Yeah, we know that one.
And they've stayed largely the same. Yeah, they can do their standard deep strikey thing, and their charge is now roll a d6 for every model that ends within 1 inch. On a 6 they suffer a mortal wound.
They've got like the Carnifex's Hammer of Wrath.
Yeah,
Carnifexes do it on 4s, but you do it on 6s.
The problem is with the size of the squads you're going to be running for these guys and the amount of firepower they put out, you ain't going to want to be charging them.
Yeah, but the Descent.
That's just deep strike.
Crushing charge and combat squad. So they're 3 to 6, are they?
3 to 6 guys, yeah.
That's nice. The assault bolters, they get 2 of them, don't they?
Yeah, they get pairs of each of these. So the assault bolters are what we've seen before.
Assault 3, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. It's pretty good.
So essentially assault half-ranged heavy bolters.
I say it.
And they pack a pair of them.
Yeah. What are you, 18 shots for free? That's pretty mental.
18 shots off 3 dudes, yeah. Alternatively, you can now swap these out for plasma exterminators, which have the same range, and they come in a pair as well.
But they're D3 shots apiece rather than 3 flat. Standard, strength 7, AP -3, and 1 damage. So high strength but random amount of shots.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can overcharge. So if you overcharge on a 1 to hit, the model is removed, but becomes strength 8 -3, 2 damage. So you have an option for higher damage. Put a captain near them, you're not worrying about this once.
The problem is, with a lot of plasma weapons, I say, yeah, put a captain near them so you're not worrying about the ones. But with these guys, they often want to operate independently because they're fast moving, they're deep striking.
Well, how many points are they?
We'll come to that in a second. I don't think the plasma is a good option on these guys. Plasma's good because there are ways to mitigate it, but these guys are going to want the freedom to move away from your main lines. So I don't think.
Well, the overcharge plasma might not be worth it, but the strength 7 over strength 5 is.
It's certainly decent, but let's see what these guys are costing. So they are fast attacks, Inceptors, 30 points a model.
I like in the points they've broken it down to fast elites troops, so you can find what you're looking for quite easily.
Yeah, it does seem a bit easier than a lot of it, although Marines were already broken up in the index because they have so many options. And what were they called again? They were called Assault Bolters. Assault Bolter, 15 points.
So how many points base?
30 points base.
So 45 with the Assault Bolt. Do you have to buy 2 Assault Bolts though?
You do, yes. So
60 points per model.
That's a points reduction. They were 75. I think 70. No, they were more. They were really expensive before. I haven't got the index to hand, but I'm pretty sure Squad of 3 used to set you back 250 points. So they've been made a little bit better.
Squad of 3 will still set you back 180 points. That's a lot of points for 3 models.
Yes, but that's essentially 6 heavy bolters.
What about the plasma?
The plasma is called a Plasma Exterminator, and that costs 28 points, and you get them in pairs, so that is going to mean they are going to cost 2 28s are 56 plus the 30, so it'll be 86 points a model.
So that's more like what they were.
Yeah.
So both have their merits. The plasma's nice for the option of more damage, but then you've got a random amount of shots. So
yeah, I think for what their role is going to be, they would do better to have the assault bolters because they're already very expensive. Plasma's going to make them more expensive, and then if you want to go kind of risky, you're risking losing a dude. I think plasma is good, and the Primaris seem to like their plasma, but I think there are better units to carry it than these guys.
fair enough. Was that?
They were fast attacks.
Oh,
That's the charge thing you're looking at there, yeah. Devastators, Centurion Devastators, pretty much as was. Hellblasters. So these...
I've heard a lot of moaning about these.
These are the guys who like plasma, and Jason has been whinging about his encounter with them. Hi, Jason.
Where is he hiding?
I don't know, but I know he watches our video, or some of our videos, so...
What a mug.
Hey! So, again, standard Marine stats. These are essentially the Primaris Devastators.
So yeah, standard Primaris stats. It's the guns that you can give them, I imagine that's...
Yeah, so they used to, out the starter box, have just this Plasma Incinerator, which is essentially a 30-inch range plasma gun.
Yeah, strength 7, -4, 1 damage. Overcharge it for strength 8, -4, 2 damage on a 1 you remove model.
And that is still their standard equipment, but they can swap that out now for an assault plasma incinerator or a heavy plasma incinerator, and the sergeant can buy a plasma pistol as well.
Yeah, just to top it off, I'll bring my pistol.
Look at they've got the picture here where he's got kind of the plasma incinerator cocked in his arm and then the plasma pistol firing, because, you know, all the plasma.
Someone's dropping dice down the metal stairs.
That's unfortunate for them, especially as there's machinery under them.
Yeah. So
the assault,
what are the new plasmas?
So the assault one is assault 2, 24-inch range, but where you lose out is in the strength. It's only strength 6.
Or strength 7.
If you overcharge for the additional thing. And that could certainly be an option, because these guys, from what I've seen a lot of people do with them, is move them with their captain.
Yeah. I mean, strength 6, strength 7 isn't much less than strength 7, strength 8 to be honest, in this edition.
Yeah.
With everything being sort of the decent, with the wound charts being the way they are.
The only thing that I've faced a lot of that's toughness 8, where this would make a difference, is that bloody Lehman Russ. Or a recent game I played, I just could not hurt his Lehman Russ with my fire dragons. It was just madness.
Is that one gone up yet?
Not yet, no, I haven't finished editing that one.
Fair enough.
I've been busy. But yeah, to give these guys the option of being assault, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they've got no rules that allow them to run charge, just combat squad, so if there's 10 in a unit, you can drop to 5s.
And then if you want them to feel like proper devastators, you've got the heavy plasma incinerator, which is 36-inch range, heavy 1, strength 8 with the option to go up to 9 if you overcharge.
Is that -4?
-4 like all the other plasma,
Yeah, 1 and 2. So that's pretty good. I'm teetering on the brink of the standard one over the extra ones because it seems to be the middle ground.
Yeah, I think it's the best, probably the best one, because the heavy one, you've got to think, unless you're going all Primaris, you know, why not just, if you want this much plasma fire, Devastators with plasma cannons will give you better bang for your buck, and if you want the strength 9, Devastators with las cannons will be more focused and less risky.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So,
and then the assault guys, I could see that working depending on the points cost.
Yeah, or what else you've got in your army structure. I mean,
so again, we want to look at points here. They are coming in at Hellblasters, 18 points a dude, which isn't bad, but this is before they buy plasma, so it's a plasma incinerator. Well, the heavy one is 17 points, which brings them up to 35 points a model.
Yeah, it's not bad. Can they all have that?
Yeah, every dude gets the same.
That is pretty good.
The standard plasma incinerator is 15, so it comes up 2 points cheaper than the heavy, but you get the thing of being rapid fire, so inside 15 inches you're firing twice. And then the other one is the assault plasma incinerator, which is 16, so that's cheaper. So actually at 24-inch range you are better off with the assault incinerator.
Is the heavy one D3, is it?
No.
Is it just one shot?
It's just one shot.
Yeah, heavy
which
one.
Which is why plasma cannons are going to give you better bang for your buck in the Devastator squad.
So I definitely think the standard gun is probably a better option.
Or the
assault
one. I
one.
like the assault one. It makes them a bit. I know 16 points was it? Says a point more than the standard, but you get assault and the extra shot in that kind of gap between 24 and 15 inches.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They're rapid fire 30 though, aren't they?
Yeah, which is why it's only the 24 to 15 inch range where.
Yeah, I mean the assault.
Better.
That's a small gap.
But it's a gap you'll find yourself in a lot. Over 12 inches within 24. How often you're shooting within that? And you've got more manoeuvrability to play with.
There is that. Let's have a look onwards then.
And I think also with both the standard and the assault, the plasma pistol's probably worth it because they're only like 7 points a model now. Right. Thunderfire cannon, hunter, stalker.
It's nice that they brought the hunter into the standard book.
The hunter's always been in the standard book. Well, has been since 6th edition.
Yeah. The hunter. Oh, sorry, hunter stalker. I'm thinking the Storm Talon variants.
No, the Storm Talon variants. Yeah, the Storm Talon variant. The is in here.
Yeah, they brought it into this book rather than Death from the Skies.
Yeah.
Land Raider, Land Raider Crusader, La.
I want to have a look at drop pods to see if they've changed this. During deployment, you can set this model along with any unit embarked within it in orbit. At the end of your movement phase, model can make a drop pod assault. Set it up anywhere on the battlefield that's not 9 inches away from an enemy model. No, it's exactly the same.
So where does it say you can't put a Dreadnought in it?
It says transport this model can carry 10 chapter infantry. It cannot carry jump pack, Terminator, Primaris or Centurion.
Boo!
So yeah, unless this has had a massive points reduction, I mean it's still just a drop pod with a Storm Bolter. No, 93 points plus the cost of the Storm Bolter.
Which is
2 points.
95 points for a drop pod. I'm pretty sure there were 105 in the index.
Yeah, 10 points drop. It's still in that 100 points.
It's
range.
still naff.
It's not good value for money, I don't think. I would rather have a unit that can naturally deep strike, or just take a different sort of transport. Aha! Now this is my baby, the Repulsor.
Yeah.
I like the Repulsor. Goes up for pre-order on Saturday, I think. So today.
You're going to be pre-ordering a handful?
Not straight away, because I owe Gus some money and have just forked out for a codex and stuff. But I definitely want to get one of these for my Scythes of the Emperor army.
I want to see how big they are because I want to loot one for my orcs.
From what I've seen, closer to a Land Ray than the Predator in terms of size.
Might make a bat wagon?
Yes, I think it would be a battle wagon, not a truck, that you'd be converting out of this.
This might be a thing that has to happen, although orcs are still poor.
Yeah, but orcs will get a codex soon, I reckon.
And they'll still be poor.
We don't know that. You can't see the future unless you've been tampering with Zinch.
Maybe.
Is that Kairos Fate Weather I see in your bag?
Yeah, so the Repulsor.
Now this is a very big tank. So movement is 10-5-3 degrading, and ballistic skill degrades
3, 4, 5 again, and its attacks degrade 6, d6 and then 1.
But you're going to have to do a lot to this guy to get it to degrade, because look at that wound stat.
So yeah, it's weapon skill 6 plus, strength 8, toughness 8. Toughness 8 is really nice.
16 wounds.
Yeah, so it's got a hell of a lot of wounds, and toughness 8 is really nice. It does have the 3+ save, so it's definitely resilient.
It's not
similar to a Lehman Russ.
Yeah, it's not quite as resilient as a Land Raider. It's got the toughness and the wounds, but it's not got the armour, so it's got a few more wounds than a Russ, I think.
Movement 10, I think it's slightly quicker as well.
Really?
I'm not sure how fast is a Russ.
I have no idea. You're the one who plays guard.
Oh, Lehman Russ. I think it's 8 standard.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's faster, but this is the same speed as a Land Raider. So essentially, what you've got in terms of the hull is a hovering Land Raider with one less pip of armour save.
Let's see what armamentt's like though.
It's got a whole list of them.
So it's got a whole list of special rules as well. Jesus.
Yeah. So the main weapons are a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. That's the 12-shot thing. Twin heavy bolter.
Nice.
Iron hail heavy stubber. An Icarus iron hail heavy stubber. 2 crack storm grenade launchers. 2 storm bolters and an auto launcher, which is essentially a smoke launcher.
Just a bit then.
And it can swap out that twin heavy bolter for a twin las cannon. It can switch the onslaught Gatling cannon for a las talon, which is basically a las cannon with heavy 2 but only 24 range. Can replace the heavy stubber with another onslaught Gatling cannon. Replace the storm bolters with frag storm grenade launchers. Can replace the Icarus Iron Hail Heavy Stubber with an Icarus Rocket Pod, Storm Bolter or Frag Storm Grenade Launcher.
So it has a few options.
Yeah, and then it can also take an extra Iron Hail Heavy Stubber. So have a look at some of the key weapons on this though. The Onslaught Gatling Cannon and the Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon are the same as on the Dread.
Yeah, so strength 5 minus 1, 1 damage for the Heavy Onslaught.
Yep.
Heavy 12, 13 range. It's quite nice.
So, you know, you can build one of these that's going to be throwing out 12 heavy onslaught shots, 6 onslaught shots, plus the frag storms, the heavy stubbers. This can be an absolute bullet storm of a tank.
Or you could put the las cannons on it and have it as your main anti-tank battle tank.
Which is, I think, if you're going Primaris heavy or pure Primaris, what you're going to want to do, because Primaris have very few really like ultra high strength weapons, apart from the
I wouldn't say high strength, high damage.
High damage, yeah. You got the plasma, which is only 2 damage on all the plasma weapons if you overcharge. You want anything more than 2 at a decent range, you're going to want laser, and this thing gives you those lasers.
I mean, you've got the Dreadnought. Is that Primaris Dreadnought or is it just a new Dreadnought?
No, it's a Primaris Dreadnought.
Yeah, so you've got that for some heavy weapon options. But he's still going to be a midfielder, I reckon.
Yeah, the thing with the Dreadnought as well is you've not got a weapon above damage 2 on there, apart from the fist.
Then you need to make it more offensive and punch things.
Yes, then obviously. But for ranged anti-tank, the Repulsor is the best Primaris option, because this thing can have twin las cannon and las talon, which means it's putting out as many las shots as a predator, albeit two of them are slightly shorter range.
Yeah, not to mention it's got the transport ability, so it can transport
10 models, I think. Yeah,
10 infantry.
10 Primaris infantry, but models in Gravis armour take up 2 slots, so that's your Aggressors and your Gravis captain.
Yeah, put 5 Aggressors in there.
4 Aggressors and a Gravis captain.
No, just 5 Aggressors for all the flamers.
So what do you get? As well as all these weapons and transport rules, hover tank, so yeah, you measure from the hull even though it's got a base, as most hovering tanks do. It's got a repulsor field. Now this is a funky little special rule. It doesn't, you subtract 2 from the charge roll if you're attempting to charge it. I was trying to see what battery I've got left, but I can't see. Oh, it's above 20%, we're fine. Yeah, so -2 to any charge rolls made against it.
Which is pretty good. I mean, if you put it in cover, that will stack.
Yes, I see no reason why. If you put it in cover or just behind cover,
it's like the old tactical objective, mysterious objective. Sorry.
Oh yeah, back when you occasionally played that, and you got the grav wave generator. Yeah, so that's cool.
It's got machine spirit.
Hell yeah, it's got machine spirit.
I didn't know they could make those anymore.
Well, apparently they can.
We have a Phil waving in our video.
Yeah, it can move and fire its heavy weapons, which is great for a transport that's bristling with heavy weapons.
Yeah.
Auto launcher is just a smoke launcher and explode like most vehicles do.
Yeah. I like it when vehicles explode. Last time I played, like, all my vehicles exploded and I was just like, yay, mortar wounds for everyone!
Hey, now comes the moment of truth. What's this thing going to set us back? Repulsor. Base,
Ooh.
210 points, which is cheaper than a Land Raider.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure a standard Land Raider, is over 244 for a Land Raider.
But then you want to arm it with all the las cannons, so
let's go all las. So it's 2 las cannons is going to be 50 points. Las talons another 40, so that's 90 points. So that breaks it around 300.
You got 2 storm bolts on it.
Yep, so that's another 4 points.
304.
And then these Icarus, let's go rocket pods, why not? Why not give it Icarus rocket pods, shoot down some flyers. 6 points, it's the same as the Iron Hail Heavy Stubber anyway.
How many can it have?
1 of those, and then it's got an Iron Hail Heavy Stubber for 6. So it's coming in at a little over 300 points.
318 points, I reckon.
That sort of ballpark, depending on exactly how you choose to arm it.
Was it 18? Something like that. 314, something around that mark.
The low 300s, depending on exactly which upgrades you give it. And I think that's pretty good value.
With the Primaris, everything seems to be quite expensive, so you can build an army of them quite quickly, with a low model count, quite happily, and probably at quite reasonable price range, which is what Games Workshop are probably aiming for.
Mm-hmm. That's why I still feel like I can actually do a new army right now when I said I wasn't going to do one.
Yeah, I was going to do a new army of Necrons, and then I did it, so I decided to do some Guard.
Yeah, well that's because you can paint a Necron army in a week.
From the box. Yeah, build and paint it in a week.
And then take it to a tournament and win games.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's the question. We've got our transport, we know it's got transport capacity 10. What's going inside it?
A Dreadnought.
No, you can't put
You can't put a
Dreadnought.
Dreadnought.
No, the Dreadnought's movement 8, this thing's movement 10. You might as well walk the Dreadnought, it's nearly as quick.
You get a whole extra 3 inches if you disembark the Dreadnought, though. You can't embark a Dreadnought.
I can't say what I was going to say because I'm trying to keep this relatively family friendly. But for those of you who don't know, it's about an extra 3 inches, and Sam.
She lost my 3 inches. But yes, I would either go with the Aggressors, definitely, have a place. I don't think it would be like, it would have to be falling up the stairs. It would have to be like maybe 1 or 2 take, because you don't want to eat up all of your points.
No, you're certainly not going to take an army of these and spam them like you used to spam rhinos. This is a Land Raider type vehicle, not a rhino type.
You only want your key units in it. So your Aggressors, they have a need for it because they've got short range weapons if you're taking the Flamer variant.
I could certainly see maybe 3 Flamer Aggressors, a Gravis Captain, a Primaris Lieutenant, and a Primaris Apothecary. That's 10 slots.
Capacity, yeah.
That's capacity, and that gives you kind of a pseudo Death Star. Obviously, they don't join together as a unit, but you've got the overlapping buffs. So, although you don't need the captain if you've got the. Oh no, you
Flamers.
don't. No, because you want to get in combat though, don't you?
Do you, don't you?
You've got power fists.
And I guess with some of the chapter tactics, it's not a bad thing if you end up in combat.
Yeah, some of the chapter tactics favour combat more so than others. Ultramarines favour a unit that can step back out of combat and then hit you with a flamethrower.
We'll go with the chapter tactics in a moment, but yeah, it's going to be a specialised unit. You're not going to just drop them in willy nilly for your tactical marines.
No, I think most most intercessors are going to be walking. They've got the longer range and the lack of a good transport. We will walk our intercessors.
So let's go into the big thing, chapter tactics, the flavour of the game coming back into the armies.
Yes, that was one of the biggest criticisms of the index, was they lacked the flavour of the different chapters. And I was kind of not too fussed about this, because I mean this was obviously going to happen.
Yeah, and we knew the indexes would get you guys, so yeah, I mean, so let's work our way from top to bottom. So first one is obviously the Smurfs, the Ultramarines.
Ultramarines and all their successors, like my upcoming Scythes of the Emperor.
So what do Smurfs give us?
They start with +1 leadership, which is nice, and they can shoot in the turn they fall back, but if they do, they subtract 1 from their hit.
Which is really useful. Like, falling back out of combat is a really big thing. Without fly, you're quite trapped.
Exactly. So a lot of non-fly units are going to get some real benefit from this, because Space Marines, particularly Primaris, have the resilience to survive 1 round of combat, and then are going to want to step back out and then shoot you.
Yeah. So it also fits with the Ultramarines' fluff of waves of Tyranids hitting them and them stepping back and fighting to the last man type thing.
Very disciplined, what you would expect, and I think certainly very good, especially if you've got any flamer armed units.
Yeah. Well, we all know flamers are going to be incredibly powerful in this edition. So yeah.
White Scars, Lightning Assault. Whenever a White Scar unit whenever a White Scar unit with this tactic advances, it moves an extra 2 inches, which means bikes automatically get an 8-inch advance.
Which is nice, because I think there's a stratagem that allows you to charge once after advancing.
No, I think there is for that, but the other thing of this is White Scars can charge after they fall back.
Which is the first thing I've seen that can actually do a charge after fallback.
Apart from Flyers and
Harlequins,
but yeah.
But Harlequins are elves and they need to die.
I think you might need to seek help about your elf anger issues here.
No. All elves need to die. In a hole.
There's a guy who once played Dark Eldar.
No, that never happened.
No, I don't have any video evidence of that anywhere at all. Nor do I have the models he used to own at all. Right. So pretty good, I think. Certainly plays in with an army that wants to move fast and hit you in assault.
Yeah, so there is a stratagem from White Scars which allows you to charge after advancing. I mean, we've got like 20 stratagems to go through. So.
Yeah, we'll have a look at stratagems in a minute if the camera holds. Imperial Fists. Units don't receive cover saves from shooting against Imperial Fists.
So your whole army has ignore cover, which is pretty damn good.
And you can re-roll any failed rolls to wound if the target is in a building. Oh no, that is a building. So re-roll failed to wound against building.
That's weak, comparatively.
Yeah, the ignore cover's good, but I don't.
It's not as big as an issue nowadays.
Because you can still get through cover with high AP. Plasma cannons don't care if there's a building next to you.
There is that. Black Templars.
Templars can re-roll failed charge rolls.
That's really good. Like, really good. And I'm pretty sure it says somewhere in the book that librarians can't be Black Templars.
Yes, it does. Black Templars cannot have librarians.
So, if you want to play really aggressive Marines...
Without librarians. Black Templars is a cool option. Salamanders. Now this is one that the internet has been saying is rather strong, and I'm rather pleased that it's going to be rather strong because I got a lot of salamanders to
It's
play.
about time some salamanders got some love.
Yes, they've had the short end of the stick in the last couple of editions, but we're back. Every unit can re-roll a single failed to hit and wound every time it shoots and fights. You can re-roll a single failed roll to hit and a single failed roll to wound with every salamander unit every time it shoots or fights.
Yeah, so you can only do it fight or shoot, but not both.
Shoots or fights, I would say you'd get both, is how I read that.
No, because it says or fights, so you either get it when you're shooting or when you're fighting.
You get it when you're shooting or when you're fighting, so all the time. But anyway, that's an argument to have another day. But I'm just thinking, so many units in Space Marines have like a one weapon that's really strong. Like tactical squads have their upgrade weapon. Dreadnoughts, we usually have their one big arm weapon. If that misses, that's going to be a real pain in the butt.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a twin links basically on your weapon you really want to hit.
Yeah. So what you do is you fire your missile launcher, say, in your tactical squad first. If that hits, great. If not, you reroll the miss. If it hits, then you've still got that reroll for one of the bolt dudes.
You are getting a bucket load of rerolls, which is nice. Whether you use them all,
I think depending on, well, yeah, you use them because you're always going to have one shot that misses and one shot that fails to wound.
yeah, maybe.
Makes you very reliable. Raven Guard, now this is the other one that I think is really strong.
Yeah, I thought this when I first heard this. I thought, what? That's mental.
-1 to hit against any Raven Guard unit 12 or more inches away.
Which is pretty insane. I know the game is more aggressive, faster now, so you're up closer more. But your armies that want to keep back are going to really struggle against that.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to stand off and try and outshoot these guys because, you're just going to miss all the time.
Yeah, and then the last one is your Iron Hands, and they've got their 6 up Fear No Pain back.
So Iron Hands haven't changed, and it is just that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly, that does apply to Dreadnoughts as well.
Yeah, because there's no it will not die now.
And it stacks with Venerable.
So, yes, very nice.
Now this is one thing I think is really cool that's coming up. Well, actually, firstly, before we switch on, which one do you think is probably the strongest?
Oh, that's the three. There's 3 I'm definitely seeing that stand out as just core rules. So Ultramarines, Salamanders, and Raven Guards.
I would say
Definitely
I would
the
agree,
3 top. How you use White Scars might be come into effect with the stratagems and stuff.
Yeah, I think White Scars in and of itself isn't amazing, but with their special rules is. Oh, excuse me.
Black Templars is strong because you're going to want to run combat squads and neophytes and stuff.
Black Templars very much favours the type of army Black Templars are going to want to run.
So those 5 are really strong. The only weak one I would say is what the Imperial Fist got.
Yeah, I think Imperial Fist players are less than happy. It's certainly not nothing, and they can make it work, but it's not the best.
No.
Righty then. So stratagems. This is a cool new thing. So stratagems are kind of the new fancy thing for 8th edition, and it turns out we're now getting them in codexes.
Yes. So I've had a few chats about the stratagems with people, and people seem to be going off the walls going, oh, they're broken, oh, they're going to ruin the game, they're going to make things too powerful. But when you consider when you build an army, your average army has only 6 command points.
Yeah, you can wangle maybe 7 or 8 out of there.
Yeah.
I think there's, I think Gulliman gives you extra as a special rule, so if
so
you've got Gulliman,
you're very limited on how many of these you can use in a game. Bear in mind you've also got the standard 3, because I'm pretty sure.
You know, you're not getting these in addition to other stuff.
Oh, excuse me.
You're getting them instead of the stratagems. Obviously, you can still use the stratagems, so it gives you options. But there's so much good stuff, you're going to have to pick what you want, because there's not enough command points to do it all. So, what have we got then? Relic of the Chapter basically allows you to spend a command point before the game to pick an extra relic.
Yeah, so relics are back in this. Are we going to go through all the stratagems?
We can just pick out some that I think that look cool.
I'm in too much pain to go through them all.
Okay, fair enough, you've had a rough day. One that I think is quite nice is Kill Shot. requires you to take 3 predators, but it's only 1 point, and if a predator is within 6 inches of 2 other predators, add 1 to wound for all the predators when they're shooting monsters or vehicles.
See, that's quite nice, but you do need 3 predators for it. There's stratagems in here. There's a few stratagems that allow you to upgrade your models, like the chapter master. 3 stratagem points to upgrade a captain to a chapter master.
Yeah.
I think you get an orbital bombardment and stuff like that with it.
I think, yeah, you get...
Isn't orbital bombardment actually a stratagem?
Yeah, I think orbital bombardment is a separate stratagem, but I can't see where it is. Oh, hello, there's another page.
Yeah, that's why I was going to say, do you want to go through them all?
We probably don't want to go through them all then. But, yeah, wow, you've got loads. Honour the chapter, tremor shells for thunderfire cannons are a stratagem. Most of these cost 1, and you've got chapter-specific ones, like the Ultramarine one.
Orbital bombardment.
Ah, there we go. Orbital bombardment costs 3 points, so that's a lot. Instead of shooting with your warlord, select a visible point on the battlefield and roll d6 for every unit within 6. Subtract 1 if that's a character. On a 4+, it suffers d3 mortal wounds. Doesn't actually seem that strong.
Being able to just be like, bam, everything there takes d3 more wounds is,
I guess,
decent.
A nice little start to the game. You got Hellfire shells for infantry. You got.
What I am noticing is this chapter-specific stratagems as well. So you've got, can't see any currently.
Salamanders.
Yeah.
Use this stratagem before a salamander unit attacks. Add 1 to the rolls made for 1 to wound for flamer weapons, and then it just clarifies what is a flamer weapon. So +1 to wound for flamer weapons for 1 unit for 1 turn is pretty decent.
For 1 command point, it's quite nice.
And that again is going to be quite fun with aggressors.
Yeah.
I think salamanders are going to like aggressors.
Like the Imperial Fist get bolt drill, which is a 1 command point stratagem. Use stratagem before an Imperial Fist infantry unit makes a shooting attack. Each time you make a hit roll of 6+, a model firing a bolt weapon can immediately roll another hit roll using the same weapon. These bonus attacks cannot themselves generate further attacks.
Oh, I tell you what would be good for this.
So yeah, basically you get exploding dice on your bolts for 1 command.
Pop that on. Get a maxed out unit of 6 Inceptors with the twin bolt weapons. So that's 6 shots per dude, and you've got that's 36 shots with exploding 6s.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
That's strength 5 -1 AP. That's potentially very strong. So yeah, we've got loads of these.
It's gonna. I mean, to get your head round them all will take experience and a lot of play. But I think there's going to be a couple that people come back to, basically.
Yeah. And then we've got new warlord traits. We've got 6 to choose from, and you can choose to pick one or you can roll. And then there's also warlord traits for each chapter, so you can choose your chapter's warlord trait,
which is nice.
And if you have a named character, he gets the chapter's warlord trait.
We then got relics, which there seems to be a handful.
Yep, so we've got
how many? Oh, we've got chapter-specific relics as well.
Yeah, there's chapter-specific ones.
So you use command points to buy relics, isn't it? Or do you get one for free?
Get one for free.
Like Sigma, and you can use the command point to buy more.
If your army is led by a Space Marine warlord, you may give one of the following relics to a Space Marine character in your army. Named characters cannot be given relics. So yeah. You've got the Armour Indomitus, Shield Eternal, Standard of the Emperor Ascendant, Teeth of Terror, Primaris Wrath and Burning Blade all make their return.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point in us going through them all because the rules have already been leaked.
Yeah. But that's cool. So with some of them you have to replace an existing weapon with it though, like the Burning Blade has to replace a power sword or mastercrafted power sword. Yeah.
And looks like we've also got chapter-specific relics.
Yeah.
So the salamanders get
+1 toughness for the salamander mantle. Put that on a guy who's already got Gravis armor, he's suddenly toughness 6.
Yeah. So
So that's cool. You got a nice big Imperial or Crimson Fist Power Fist, Raven's Fury Jump Pack. So it's all very fluffy stuff.
What's that? Oh, and then the new psychic powers.
Yeah.
Which?
So 3 of them aren't new at all. Veil of Time, Might of Heroes, and Null Zone are, I think, lifted straight out of the index. But then you've got Psychic Scourge, is a Warp Charge 6, select a visible enemy unit within 18, roll d6 and add the Psyker's leadership, opponent rolls d6 and adds their leadership. The Psyker's score is greater, the enemy suffers d3 mortal wounds.
Meh. Might as well just cast Smite.
Yeah, it seems a bit of a long way round to cast. Well, it's d6. Oh no, it's only d3, yeah. And it's the same range. I suppose the only reason you do it is if you're really going for the onslaught against one guy and you've already cast Smite. Although Smite is always the nearest model.
Yeah.
This is a way of getting around that, but it has to be.
And that's where your Dreadnought's leadership comes in.
True.
So, I think that's pretty much it. New tactical objectives, which I think they've done cards for, and then some more pretty artwork and the points.
I just want to have a look at the other 2 powers. 2 psychic powers.
Yeah, go on. My back is killing me.
I'll take this. You rest your back. So Fury of the Ancients is a casting value of 7. You roll 3d6 and select a visible enemy model within that many inches. If no enemy models are in range, the power has no effect. Draw a line, and any model that passes over suffers a mortal wound. Okay, that's cool.
It's basically an old beam that does mortal wounds.
Yeah, it's a 3d6 range beam of mortal wounds.
And Psychic
Fortress, nice low casting value of 5. Select a friendly unit within 18 until the start of the next psychic phase. Until the start of your next psychic phase, they automatically pass morale tests and can roll a d6 each time they suffer a mortal wound from a psychic power and ignore it on a 4+.
So 4+ feel no pain against psychic and passing morale is really nice.
That's really good actually. I can certainly see that coming into play as a thing, yeah.
Cool.
So, we've gone quite a way, but I think this is a really cool book.
I think it's definitely going to take some looking into to see where the quirks lie.
I think you can totally play your old Space Marine army with this. You don't need to buy the new stuff.
I know we've only covered the Primaris, but the old Space Marine stuff is still really viable.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of cool combinations, particularly if you want to play transport heavy. You want to go the old stuff, flyers, old stuff. Some really strong things in there, but the Primaris stuff is really cool as well. But it feels more specialised. It's almost like Aspect Warriors for Space Marines.
Well, we'll see.
Don't start him on elves.
Elves, die in a hole.
Hopefully, we're going to have a test battle with this report.
A test battle
report with this book. Can you tell I'm tired? Sometime soon. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys again soon.
Bye.
Bye.